all the negative stuff, how can you keep your peace? I can't help it if a good, fine-looking man walk before me, just a little poquito, okay?
Muy poquito, muy poquito.
How do you restore marriage when someone has cheated?
Ooh, yeah. Is it restorative though?
Y'all know temptation.
But you know how to say no because you're married.
Sometimes you don't want to say no.
no.
Jaquar Wright. I'm listening to her, but my heart aches because I can hear the pain in her. And I'm sure at one time she tried to tell her story. You know what? You sound so good. You remind me of this lady. I don't know, somebody on podcast. That ain't important because Mahogany Tea podcast is taking over. You understand? So I must plug that. But check this out. I'll be honest with you. I love helping people, one, which gets me in trouble. Patrice. Two is, for so many years, I've been the one that had to, of course, assist women that have dealt with domestic violence, sex trafficking, or prostitution, or just women going through.
Tell about your organization that help women who have experienced that.
Yeah, those that don't know, Women Called Moses is a nonprofit organization that's based out of Dallas, Texas. We've been in existence for at least 25 years, okay? Prior to me getting my 501c3, like everybody else, God told me to do it. I was just helping women. So I thank God for the years that I've worked in my community, assisting women and children with domestic violence, sex trafficking, prostitution, all of it. Because, all of it intertwines together.
Absolutely. If you guys need help, please DM us on Facebook. You can send us a message. Mahogany Tea Time Podcast on Facebook. If you need help, if you know someone that's in need, and we will get you over to.
Most definitely. And it's all confidential. A lot of times you share things with your friend, a friend, or say your best friend or relative, and sometimes you ashamed. Don't be ashamed. I'm not here to judge, but I'm here to give you some good resources and to point you in the right direction. Even if I can't assist you, I have community partners out there that I can place you with, because sometimes I might not be the one that you can talk to. It could be somebody you want to talk to because of cultural difference. I'm about that. I'm not here to judge, but I'm here to give you resources. Now back to Patrice. Patrice, I want to talk about that word peace.
Yeah. Peace to me is just solitude. I mean,
but in this day and time, how can you have peace? Social media, that doggone peace. Wait a minute though. Let me be honest with you. Allegedly all these allegations. Yes. Some I believe, but who am I? It's God has to make the final say so.
That's right.
And I give respect to our victims and survivors. I always got to shout out to our victims and our survivors.
Absolutely.
Because I wasn't there, but I am here to support. Check this out. Back to you. I will say this, with social media today and all the negative stuff, even, news, you turn your TV on, the radio, how can you keep your peace?
You have to turn that stuff off. You have to put your phone down, turn your ringer off, and you just have to, disconnect. Because it's a lot of times that stuff can pour a lot of negativity into you. And people don't understand your mental state is so important. And we have to protect that, because you have people that are evil. You have the enemy out there wanting to attack and take away your peace, try to steal your joy. And if your joy is not rooted.
Oh, I like that. Ooh. You used to hear your grandma and them used to say rooted. That's why they wouldn't let us go to different churches, go to different people's houses.
Yeah, because spirits, evil spirits. Yeah. I believe in that too, y'all.
I believe in it too. That's why I like that Jaquar Wright lady. Who is she? I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real. I must tell.
Jaguar better be saying allegedly on a whole bunch of stuff she talking about.
And I want y'all to know, we most definitely saying allegedly. But I will say this. Some of the things that she said, it's like it triggers me, so I have to be careful listening to her. Yeah, absolutely. Because she kind of remind me of myself when I was a victim. She also remind me, I could hear the cry. And the only reason I'm bringing this up because we're talking about peace. In order to get peace, we need to learn, like you said earlier, detox. And one thing, I'm going to go back to Jaquar Wright. I'm listening to her, but my heart aches because I can hear the pain in her. And I'm sure at one time she tried to tell her story, you know, and like Cassie, one of P. Diddy allegedly victims. Well, to me, it happened because we saw the video, right? But the only reason she got justice was because she had evidence. Well, a lot of us don't have evidence. So Jaquar Wright, to me, she kind of reminded me of Monique when she was telling everybody what happened to her in the industry, and they called her names. They victimized Monique. Well, I feel with Jaquar Wright, she's telling her story. It might not be the way that people want to hear it and see it, but for some reason, my heart is beating to that pain. So I have to be careful listening to her, because some of the things that she's saying, I do believe Jaquar Wright. I feel the pain, the hurt, the void. And sometimes when you don't get justice, it will make you angry. And it's part of your PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think we all have. And
a lot of people suffer with that, and we don't know, or we don't want to face it or own up to it, and we just kind of suppress it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what happens to a lot of black women. And the reason I say black, because y'all have to be real, 90% of the women I deal with are African-American women. And a lot of times, you know, we are angry because, you know, we're on the front line in our households all the time. We're dealing with a lot of serious issues, trying to be a mom, trying to be a dad. If you're a mother, have 4 and 5 kids, you're trying to provide.
And then you have someone that will pretend as though they're here to protect you.
Now, why are you making my PTSD go
for
up?
You?
That's that bad relationship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And a lot of people are dealing with that. And then when you stand up to protect yourself, and now you're the angry black woman.
Yes,
and what's wrong with me defending myself? You know, as a woman.
Yeah,
what's wrong with that?
You know, it's just like, you know, I've even heard black men say, "Oh, I don't want a black woman because she's too loud. I want a black woman because she's mean."
But when you provoke us, we try to give you the love that you want in the beginning. We try to show you who we are. We care. But then you take advantage.
They do. And it's part of our defense mechanism. My defense, because when I went through abuse, is I couldn't use my voice. I remember the very first time my husband said I was talking back to him. He slapped me. Okay. I remember the second time, like, shut up. Say something. You know, so you become silent for a very long time. And so when I hear these women talk about in this entertainment world what happened, I'm telling y'all, I feel their pain. And I hate the fact that even today, a lot of our survivors are not getting justice because of retaliation. And some people say, well, why didn't you tell it? Well, why you didn't ask him? Why you don't ask the perpetrator these questions? I'm the victim. I am the survivor.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And sometimes we angry because we don't get the counseling. Remember you talked about that?
Yeah, we did. We talked about that. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of us, men and women, need therapy. We need counseling. But how can I say this? I think that women are more prone to going to counseling and therapy. But I will tell you this. I did run across a male, and they did talk about they got help for themselves.
It's quite a few men
after a
today.
divorce.
It's funny you say that because I know an individual going to counseling now. He's a male, and every opportunity I get, I try to tell any male friend, somebody I'm dealing with that's a male, I say, look, you need to get some type of counseling. If you've been married, say 1, 2, 3 times, even if you're in a marriage tonight, it can save your marriage. Because I believe with my son's father, if I had gotten counseling back then, we perhaps could.
Or maybe what if he would have gotten counseling?
That's what I'm saying,
couples counseling. And I think couples counseling is good. I think that's very therapeutic.
If not, find one and we'll come back.
And we'll share it, because we're all about resources, all about giving information. We want to help the people, help the community. So I will research. I know my church had one, and they have one.
People don't, when we say
they don't want to do church.
They don't want to do
that too. I get that too.
Because they
want the professional.
And you don't want, like me. Everybody know me in the Dallas Metroplex area. So most definitely, I'm not going to use no one in Dallas. You know,
absolutely.
But you know, your girl D Bowles, I tell everybody, I need some counseling.
We all do, girl.
I'm telling y'all, this stuff on this entertainment world, because you know, I came from the sports and entertainment. That was my background, right? Before I went in this nonprofit world. So some of the people I know is involved in this. That's one. They're victims. Too, the other day, and I can say her name. She doesn't care. Miss Chalet, you know that was on
the
movie. What is the movie?
She's a singer, right?
Survivor out of Compton. She survived,
you know. But the little high pitched voice.
Yes, that's my girl. But baby, that girl can sing.
Yes.
But moving forward, she kind of talked about her situation, about 5 years ago when she came to Women Call, I think it was 2018. She was our keynote speaker for our Hills to Hills Gala for Women Call Moses. And when she came to Dallas, she talked about it to me, her abuse. That she dealt with Dre and Suge Knight. But the thing that I like about Miss Chalet, she don't drop their names, but she talks about what happened to her. You know, and all she wanted was her peace back. And one was she wanted an apology from those that did that to her.
Wow.
And that's really hard for men to say, I'm sorry, Deborah or Patrice, will you forgive me that, you know, I
they
used
haven't
to beat
dealt
you.
with it themselves.
There you go.
They have not dealt with it themselves.
So how can
Absolutely.
you go to another relationship, Patrice?
But men do it all the time. They go from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, without getting healing for themselves, so they can be a better version of themselves for the next individual.
So all we do, that's why I always tell.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. It most definitely, and it's not difficult. You know, I was talking to someone, you know, I know this, everybody, like if you say, oh, sex trafficking, you rubbing people emotion, just the fact that you said sex trafficking, right? Then you talk about human trafficking. If you say human trafficking, you rubbing emotions. But if we would really understand how this works, it all intertwines together.
Yeah.
But even when you scope out a victim to victimize, say the perpetrator, he gets to the mind first.
Yes.
Before he even gets to the sex part, the physical attacks of your body, right?
It starts in the mind.
So if we would address domestic violence first, because a lot of times, you know, we're looking for love in the wrong places. One, you know, we have our young girls, we're accepting what social media is teaching them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because you have a daughter, right?
I have
Is she in college?
I have two. I have a high school junior, and I have a junior in college. And, you know, I talk to them about social media, but my kids are smart. They're very mature, and they don't let all of that stuff on social media get into their spirit. They see it.
But
they keep
as
scrolling.
a mother and me as a DV expert, I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
And the reason I'm gonna stop you, and this is good, y'all. See, that's why I love Mahogany Tea, because we can keep it real.
Stop right there.
We're ready for you.
Go.
Hey, this is Lorraine. I am on with Mahogany Tea Time.
Hey, Lorraine.
Hey, Lorraine. You look so beautiful.
As usual, always does.
So what are we discussing right now? What's the hot topic?
Lorraine, we talking about toxic relationships.
Oh, wow.
Relationships, marriages.
Toxic.
How do you have a healthy marriage? How are marriages remaining healthy nowadays?
Relationship, because you know what? I like to think about when Jada Pinkett said, what you say, intertwine?
And which entanglement?
Entanglement.
An entanglement.
Yeah. Break it down, Lorraine.
So I'm going to have a segment in February where I'm going to bring in some guest experts to talk about different subjects. One being, how do you restore marriage when someone has cheated?
Ooh.
Can you restore that marriage?
Yeah, is it restorative though? You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Virgo. I don't. I'm like, I'm
yeah,
done.
if I find out you're cheating on me, that is my deal breaker. You cheating on me, that's a wrap.
First of all, you know what? These women out here and men, they're nasty. And, you know, and plus, you know, I'm thinking about my husband having oral sex with somebody. One, I'm being transparent.
Yeah.
And then you do the same thing to me. I got issues with that. Okay, that's one, and that's real talk.
A way to restoration.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
With Jesus Christ.
True, I get that. Yeah, I get that too. But for me, I'm just saying a deal breaker for me. And I'm not saying that I can't forgive that person because cheating is a choice. Ooh. You chose to do that. Yes. But and if you're doing it and I never find out about it, we good. But the moment I find out about it, I'm gone. I'm out.
Men don't forgive us like we forgive them.
They don't.
See, and that's another thing that I have a problem with. Let me go out there and mess around. My husband please. He is not going to forgive me.
Well, I'm here to debunk the rumor that it all ends. Because I know of several people, and I'm going to bring on an expert, the man and the wife.
Okay.
To share.
Ooh, they're going to love to hear this.
And how to restore that.
I'm gonna call up everybody I know.
Well, let me ask you this, Lorraine. Okay, yes, I understand that they went through it. They got over it. And they moved on and they're thriving. But I'm only speaking for me. Mm-hmm. In the back of my mind, it's going to always be that you cheated on me.
Yep.
And I know about it.
That's right.
I don't know.
I think unless you walk through that,
mm-hmm.
you'll never know.
Well, I don't want to walk through it because
I don't either. I'm like you. I
won't do it.
I love me some Jesus.
Me too.
And I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna fast. And Jesus already know my heart, because I'm gonna bring it up every chance I get.
Yeah.
And then he gone out
and
of
a relationship can last like that.
I'm sitting here doing all I can for you, and I restrain. You think it ain't hard? I see a big, fine looking man, smelling good, and all that, and I got to keep myself together. And then he gonna
But you
go
know
out
what?
there.
It's called discipline. If you don't have discipline,
hold up, y'all. Now we got to talk about flesh, though.
Yeah, you got to have control over your flesh.
But we don't. That's why God said, "No good thing dwell in the flesh." I can't help it if a good, fine-looking man walk before me, smelling good, got some money, nice car. I'm sorry, and he wine and dine just a little poquito, okay?
Muy poquito, muy poquito.
You know, I'm sitting there. I'm like, y'all know temptation,
but you know how to say no because you're married.
Sometimes you don't want to say no.
You may not want to, but you won't step out on your husband because you're committed to the relationship.
But you want to.
But when you taste it, that means you're stepping outside of the marriage, right?
Yeah, but he has to forgive me like I'm gonna forgive him.
I get that, but our producer is saying we're not men, so we don't know what a man is going to do. But because of what we've heard, what maybe we have experienced, you know, a lot of men that I know, they have not forgiven.
That, your boy wrote. Who's that? Steve Harvey. Think like a what?
Think like a man.
What was the name of that book, y'all? Whatever name of that book is, I'm finna be that book. I'm gonna be the author of that book.
But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it in February.
Okay.
In February, because it's gonna be our Valentine's edition. And I'm also gonna bring in some sexual experts.
Oh,
so now we're getting into sex too.
Okay, but why sex play a big part in a relationship? Can you ask them? Yeah, I want to know.
Hey, if it ain't no sex involved, who want to be in that relationship?
Well, that's why I want y'all to say something, because that might help somebody. See, y'all seen.
I think that sex plays a major role in a relationship.
Okay.
And with couples.
That's what we need to talk about.
Yes.
Then. That's my whole point. I brought it up.
And not just the same old missionary style either. We're going to talk about some other things.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I grew up missionary style. So that's probably why my first one didn't work, because I was missionary. You know, with the long gowns. You know?
No makeup and all that stuff.
Wait a minute.
But Lorraine will be hosting that segment.
Oh yeah, y'all. I'm gonna have popcorn.
We're gonna get into it.
But I think that's great. That's what I love about Mahogany Tea. Y'all, seriously, we have to talk about things that we don't. They talk about an elephant in the room. I'm gonna make sure everybody understands this. If there's a topic you really want to talk about, I ask that you email us, go on our podcast, follow us, and give us some ideas of what you really want to hear. What is it that y'all would love for us to talk about? Because we're about that. You know, some things people don't want to touch. Well, we're here to touch it. So touch us. Mahogany Tea
Podcast.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.